In this episode of Universal Explorer, we are looking at Israel. If you have not subscribed for us, then subscribe for more awesome facts learning. Israel. Israel, a Middle Eastern country on the Mediterranean Sea, is regarded by Jews, Christians and Muslims as the biblical Holy Land. Its most sacred sites are in Jerusalem. Within its old city, the Temple Mount complex includes the Dome of the Rock Shrine, the historic Western Wall, Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Israel's financial hub, Tel Aviv, is known for its Bauhaus architecture and beaches. Israel is the only country in the world that has the same name, is located in the same land and speaks the same language as it did 3,000 years ago. Israel has the 8th longest life expectancy in the world, 82 years, which is more than the United Kingdom, the US and Germany. Relative to its size, Israel is the largest immigrant-absorbing nation on Earth. It has absorbed 350% of its population in 60 years. Israel has more Nobel Prizes per capita than the United States, France and Germany. It also has more laureates, in real numbers, than India, Spain and China. About 93% of Israeli homes use solar energy for water heating, the highest percentage in the world. Israel has the highest number of museums per capita in the world. There are over 100 sushi restaurants in Tel Aviv, which makes it the city with the most sushi restaurants per capita after Tokyo and NYC. Israel was the first country to ban underweight models. Israeli banknotes have Braille markings on them. The largest known dog cemetery in the ancient world was discovered in Ashkelon city. Israel has the most Bauhaus buildings in the world. Israel has designed and manufactured the first flight system to protect passenger and freighter aircraft against missile attack. The cell phone was developed in Israel. Voicemail technology was developed in Israel. The first antivirus software for computers was created in Israel in 1979. The city of Beersheba has the highest number of chess grandmasters per capita in the world. Israel is the only nation on earth to draft women into the military. Haifa city has one of the smallest subway systems in the world with a 1.8 km track and only 4 carriages. Israel is ranked number 2 in the world for venture capital funds. Israel is one of only 3 democracies in the world without a codified constitution. The other 2 are New Zealand and Britain. Jerusalem's Mount of Olives is the world's oldest continuously used cemetery. El Al, Israel's national airline, set the world record for the most passengers on a commercial flight with 1,088 people. Over 1,000 letters arrive in Jerusalem every year addressed to God. The world's largest pepper was grown in Israel's Moshev Ein Yahab, recorded by the Guinness Book of World Records in 2013. Israel is so small, you can run through it from west to east in 2 hours and from top to bottom in 9 days. Tiny Israel provides 5% of the world's flowers. Israel is roughly half the size of Lake Michigan. Israel has the 3rd highest rate of entrepreneurship, and the highest rate among women and among people over 55 in the world. With more than 3,000 high-tech companies and start-ups, Israel has the highest concentration of high-tech companies in the world, apart from the Silicon Valley. Israel's population is half the size of Metro New York City. Israeli cows produce more milk per cow than almost any country in the world. Israel is only 1/6 of 1% of the landmass of the Middle East. Per square kilometer, Israel has one of the highest levels of bird traffic in the world, with over 500 million migrating birds crossing its airspace. After 15 years of development, Israeli inventor Rafi Yoli is currently building the world's first flying car. It is expected to be in the market in 2020. Microsoft has more employees in Israel than it does per capita anywhere in the world. Israel is ranked first place in the world in the survival of cancer patients. People who celebrate Shabbat in Israel can buy car insurance which doesn't cover Saturdays, making it cheaper. Shabbat is celebrated by Jewish on Saturdays and they don't work on that day. The first electric hair remover, also known as epilator, was created in Israel. Israel has the fourth largest air force in the world. Tel Aviv is a UNESCO heritage site in recognition of the 4,000 Bauhaus buildings that were built in the city in the 1930s and 40s. Israel has more orchestras per capita than any other nation in the world. Israel is the only country in the world to have free trade agreements with the US, Mexico and Canada, as well as the European Union and the European Free Trade Association, at the same time. In 1952, Albert Einstein was asked to be the president of Israel, which he declined. Israel leads the world in the percentage of plastic bottles it recycles. Water-saving drip irrigation was invented in Israel. Israel has the world's highest rate of university degrees on a per capita basis. The world's oldest copper mine is located in Israel's desert just north of Eilat. The average Israeli eats about 10 liters, approximately 2.6 gallons, of ice cream per year, compared to 6.2 liters per capita in Italy, home of gelato. First launched in Israel in 2011, bus-stop mini libraries, offering books free of charge, have inspired similar initiatives in other countries. The world's only theater company comprised entirely of deaf and blind actors can be found in Israel. The organization Nalaga is located in Jaffa, where prior to the performance, visitors can try their hand at eating completely in the dark, while being served by blind individuals. On a per capita basis, Israel tops the list of countries when it comes to the annual production of scientific papers. Israel is home to the only underwater museum in the world. In Caesarea, you're able to dive through the underwater ruins of the ancient city. Coffee and cafes are so good in Israel that it's the only country where Starbucks failed trying to break into the local market. Shocking, right? Israel is the 100th smallest country in the world, just ahead of El Salvador. Many Jerusalem apartment leases include the strange stipulation that if and when the Messiah comes, the lease is void and the tenants must move out. Israel is the only country in the world that has more trees today than it had 50 years ago. That was it for today. See you in the next episode of Universal Explorer with some new and amazing facts.